first of all, I would recommend to decide what part and what segment of automation you go after, because nowadays it is not anymore just, let's say, unattended or just attended. Nowadays it is a broad platform and you can specialize rather deeper in one specific category, be it like unattended automation using Studio, be it testing and test automation, or using some AI capabilities and AI technology. So first of all, make your mind what you are going after, and if you're not sure, probably first discover. So go through the whole platform, try to play a bit with each of the tools. Ideally, if you have a chance to play within your organization and think a little bit more of what use cases you can bring. And then afterwards, I think that you can have a better impression of what it is. And following that, I would say don't try to capture everything. Really specialize on one and be good in 1, 2, maximum 3 things, rather than be average in many. MVP program means really a lot for me. It is my 4th, and last year, as was announced, so this is my 4th year as an MVP. And it meant a lot in different perspectives. So first of all, from technical perspective, you get a lot of toys to play with in terms of licenses, different accesses to the tools, access to the product team directly, very accelerated feedback loop when it comes to raising a new feature request, etc. So one aspect is technical. Another aspect, and the second one, is more on the soft skill, because we are to interact more and more with the community, sometimes present, sometimes have an interview. So also it sometimes passively, sometimes actively encourages you to develop as a speaker, as a person who presents and represents the community. And last but not least, also from business perspective, it brings you a visibility. So it helps to grow the brand of the company, as well as what is the most important within this community, the personal brand. So definitely these 3 aspects were growing a lot within these 4 years of the journey of being MVP. From several perspectives. So first of all, even nowadays, we have a possibility to reach out directly to a product team. I believe and assume that you don't have to be only an MVP to do so, but I think that within this small round, I have a feeling that the feedback is really heard and addressed quite promptly. So influencing the product is, I would say, this vicious circle or infinite loop where you play with the product, provide the feedback, wait for implementation still. Now we have many releases, but still sometimes you get to wait for the implementation. Once implemented, again, play with the product, have new ideas, and implement again. So I think that it is a never-ending story, and I would still keep on suggesting the different improvements in different areas. So nowadays we are quite heavy in unattended automation, in testing and document understanding. So whenever we spot some potential improvements, we always raise them to the product team. Advice for the future MVPs. If I'm to describe it with one word, it will be consistent. So be consistent with whatever you plan to do, be it like blog or like video blog or podcast, etc. Because getting to the MVP is very exciting, and then with becoming MVP, you get a lot of opportunities and a lot of possibilities. And one way we may say that a lot, another is too much. So sometimes you get too many opportunities and you start grabbing many of them, and then you may break this consistency. So I would really recommend, if you become an MVP, focus on, try to identify for you the niche. Probably as you become an MVP, you already have your niche. So besides other opportunities, which will definitely arrive on your table, be it from community or UiPath directly, don't forget how you get there with what you were doing, and keep consistent with this thing. So, talking of automation developer, first of all, we need to differentiate here from citizen developer and all variations of like low code, no code usage. So if we speak about automation developer, first of all, I heard developer behind. So I mean that person should be skilled in development, and not because necessary UiPath requires a lot of development as you build the solution. It is still very simplified and nice user-friendly interface. I think that it is very important to understand the coding principles and apply them. Doesn't matter if it is in a fancy UI or in code directly. So first of all, upgrade your coding skills. And then also, as nowadays coding gets more and more simplified with being AI technologies as well as simplifications around like no code and low code, I think that it really makes sense to focus a lot on architectural thinking. So don't jump directly into a coding, but rather do the proper solutioning and think like you code before coding in your head, or you code before coding in your solution design. So allocate more and more focus on solution designing. So I would probably park the second one for why they need the developers. We'll get back to it, but Center of Excellence is required. Even before RPA, there was a certain hype with, let's say, macros, and everyone could learn how to record macro or write some code more or less complex. And then afterwards, there was no maintenance and government around. So I see CoE, Center of Excellence, as the institution within organization which provides the standard, which provides the governance, which provides sustainability of the solutions, but not just that organization randomly on their own in many different places just do what they want, and then once the certain experts or the team disappears in a company, there is no one to maintain it. So Center of Excellence is critical for sustainability of automation as well as inspiring. So these are the two main roles. One is to inspire, to help to identify the right opportunities, to collect them, to educate people what the RPA is or what the automation initiative is overall. And then once the inspiration is there and everyone wants to build it, CoE should make sure that it is built in the right way, not to achieve the status that our robots are running, but to achieve the status that our robots are running also tomorrow, also in half a year, and also in 1 year, and in 3 years, as well as whatever changes in the team there are, that code will still be maintainable. There are two main aspects which we observe in organizations, and one is direct. Means that people, by automating processes directly, generate some benefits for themselves or for their colleagues. So it is one direct impact when they become more efficient. The second indirect is that sometimes the automations are a little bit more complex than it seems at the very beginning, and then the citizen development concept serves as a pipeline sourcing for the CoE. So meaning that when citizen developer is not able to finalize the solution, it automatically is an alert for CoE that there is some complex process which is worth looking at and automating, maybe not only for the citizen dev, but for the whole group of users. So the two influencing factors which I see there is becoming more efficient and identifying new opportunities. And maybe for the organization itself also, I believe that it influences the retention, because whatever department you are from, you probably have enough of your daily routines, and when someone approaches you, regardless if you're in HR or finance, I think that citizen development concept is a universal tool for HR and for the organization to improve the retention in a company in the way that you can still provide some benefits to the employee, which would generate the benefits to the company. So it is win-win. Definitely Studio X, and probably here I would go in this order. So Studio X, because it is already mature tool, which lived some time on the market, and I think that it is many issues and mistakes were already catched, and I think that it is citizen development proof. And then we have also now a lot of attention around Studio Web. So definitely I would recommend to have a look on Studio Web as a simplified version of Studio X for mainly web interactions. Cozy. It's really cozy here, and it feels, I don't feel, it's a working day. We are working intensively. We are brainstorming many different things. We meet with product team, etc. But I don't feel any work-related pressure. So it is in very cozy environment with all the people being very friendly to each other, knowing most of each other in online sphere, but I have met for the first time many people who I meet only online. So it is really nice meeting all together, brainstorming on different problems, solutions, product aspects, etc. And it doesn't feel like work. It still feels cozy and chill and fun, of course.